Yo, what's up, y'all? Hope everybody good on those positive vibes out there. Today, I wanted to just veer off from talking about equipment and stuff for a little bit to actually talk about getting into being a content creator. So if you're somebody that's new to being a content creator or you're trying to go down that path, I got a couple tips that I want to talk about today that will hopefully help you on this journey. Now, first thing I want to get into is just letting you know off top, first quarter, that making content on a regular, consistent basis is something that is difficult. So if you're already trying to jump into that ocean way out there in the deep with no life jacket on, just get ready and be prepared, because you really got a long race ahead of you. So if you're thinking it's something easy and something you're just gonna do and just jump in front of a camera and gonna become this natural person off top, everything that's worth something, y'all, it takes time to water that plant, and it takes even more time for that plant to start growing and manifesting. So be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much and, just be down because you hate the way you look on camera, or your clothes don't look right, or you can't get your lighting together, or your audio isn't top notch yet. All that stuff takes time to just work. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff takes time to figure out. All that stuff is not easy, so don't think that there's this one piece of equipment that you could just buy and it fixes everything. Don't think you can buy this one mic and it's gonna be everything. Don't think this one camera is gonna be the end all be all, or that one lens, or that one light. You're gonna always be trying to figure out how to reinvent yourself. And then the fact that you're probably looking at social media content daily from people that you think have dope content, it's gonna make it even more difficult for you to just try to find your own way. So I'm just trying to give you that warning, heads up right now, so you don't get too caught up with it later on. Now, I just mentioned something, which is looking at everybody else's stuff. So the next thing I want to tell y'all about is try not to overindulge in other people's content. And the reason why I recommend that to a lot of people is because it could really be more discouraging than it can be helpful, depending on how, you make it make sense in your mind. Because you could see this one person content and it looked great, sounds great, they're mixing and blending with everything, just seem to be just so on point, and you immediately think in your mind, oh man, this is how I want my stuff to be. It don't really work like that, y'all. It takes time. You got to put in hours and hours and hours of trying to make those shots when nobody's looking. Then when people start to watch and you shooting those same shots, they start to become a little bit easy because you've taken hundreds of shots or even thousands of shots, and now it's like, oh, okay, I know how to get to this end goal a lot faster than I used to, or I understand making my way to this finish line because I run this race a billion times. So, starting out, give yourself some grace. I'm gonna always tell you that, but in the same sense, make sure that you're always just trying to polish things, because you wanna make sure that you continuously elevating, as time passes. All right, another thing that I feel like will be super helpful is that you take notes and write scripts. Now, when you say scripts, Sean, do you mean this whole script like it's a TV show or a movie? I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no to that part, because you might be this person that needs to be very, very, very detail oriented, where the script says, your whole entire intro and you got to read it verbatim. And then you also got to make a note to say, hey, don't forget to mention this part. Some people need that stuff. And then some people out there just need bullet points because they could talk and ramble for days, like myself. So a lot of times when I'm writing specific scripts, I'm doing it mainly because I'm trying to slow down Sean, because Sean will get a bullet point and talk for 2 hours about it. And when I'm doing content, I don't have that much time because I gotta shoot and I gotta edit, and then I gotta shoot and I gotta edit. So I'm trying to, wash everything as quickly as possible. But on your side, you gotta do whatever makes sense for you. If you're new and you're just starting out, maybe writing a longer script is gonna be helpful. And then as things progress, you can start to just do bullet points, because you're saying, hey, okay, cool, I'm gonna talk about baking the cake today, but I know the ingredients already, so I'm gonna list the ingredients, and then I know how much of this is needed and how much of that is needed. When you get to those points where everything just seems like second nature, it starts to feel a little bit more genuine on camera as well. So that's my main reason for probably pitching to y'all to write scripts and take notes, is because being on camera is something that's difficult too. So if you're this person that's gonna sit in front of the camera and turn the lights on, you gotta, in some way, shape, or form, find a way to be prepared. And in the midst of taking notes, let me give y'all a quick sidebar. After you take notes, actually go back and read over your notes. And you're probably gonna have to do like they used to tell you in, elementary school or middle school, where it's like, hey, read it out loud so you can hear yourself, so you can hear what it's sounding like. Because sometimes you writing stuff, in your mind, and you typing it on your notepad or you writing it down, and it's making all the sense in the world, but then you saying it back and it's like, that don't really feel good. That don't really sound like I want it to sound. So, write it, type it, text it to yourself, email it to yourself, whatever you need to do. And then, put it up on the screen or put it on your iPad and really sit there and go through everything and read it out loud to yourself. Like, say it how you plan to say it on camera. All right, next thing I want to talk to y'all about is overthinking. Now look, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'll be honest with y'all, I overthink stuff daily with every project. I'm an overthinker. That's me. That's Sean. So when you're starting to create content, you got to really get to a point where you just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to create this content and I'm going to release this content, or I'm going to put it out for people to see. Don't, hold it, put it on the shelf for a better day. No. Create that content and put it out there, because what you got to learn to do is be consistent, and you got to get your reps in that same batch of stuff. And if you're creating stuff and you're not putting it out there, you're not totally giving yourself a chance to grow in that space of getting the reps in, because even that is a thing that is a thing, understanding that sometimes you're going to post and people not going to like it, or people not going to view it, or you're not going to get the likes and views that you thought you was going to get. And there's going to always be that one video that you put a lot of time and energy into, and you thinking at home like, oh man, they going to love this one. And then it gets put out there on social media, and then the birds are chirping. You don't hear anything. You got to run into those walls, because if you get into this content space, that's going to happen. I don't care how dope you are. I don't care how great you thought your topic was. I don't care what kind of camera, lighting, lens you might be using. That's gonna happen. It comes with the territory. But if you learn how to, perform for yourself over time and make yourself be the audience and not worry about everybody else out there that's gonna be watching and viewing your stuff, you start to learn that, hey, I'm not gonna focus on the views and the likes. I'm gonna pay more attention to, me getting reps, me polishing things, me being consistent. That's the thing that you got to put like at the top of everything. That needs to be at the top of your list. Get my reps in, be consistent. Get my reps in, be consistent. If you can mentally keep yourself in that space, you might have a decent chance, opportunity at getting on this content creation thing and making it something. Now, lastly, I just want to tell y'all to try to have fun and just create. And I know that sounds a whole lot easier than it's gonna be to actually do it, but just create stuff, man. Whatever you're doing right now, if you like to cook, create cooking videos, and don't worry about it being so over polished. Create that stuff, let it fly, get it out there. If you like me, if you're into cameras and gadgets and stuff like that, I try not to overthink it too much, and I try to just create the stuff that I'm using each and every day, the stuff that I'm researching on Amazon, the stuff that I'm Googling. I try to talk to y'all about that stuff, and hopefully it just resonates with people, because you might not think somebody, is in that space that you're in, but somebody is most definitely in that space. And the place that you are in, currently, you're gonna say something and you might help somebody that's a few months behind you that's getting started. So don't ever think that whatever you have going on isn't enough, or the topic that you have isn't gonna be great. Look, it is what it is, y'all. Put that stuff out there, put that content out there, and you know what I'm gonna tell you to be consistent and get those reps in. Look, I talked too long as usual. So I just want to check in with y'all and shoot y'all some positive vibes. And if you here and you just getting into content creation, yo, just do you. All right. Hope this helps somebody out there. Y'all keep pushing, keep fighting, stay on the positive vibes, and as always, good luck. Talk soon.